Yo, what's up? It's DNA for sure. And I got a question from Babaushko on I think it's my video about family, one of the last three videos, um, about how not to get caught by the police and washing your money and things like that. First, I would like to announce that in about not months, 4 weeks, in about 1 month's time from now, I will have the proper home studio equipment, and I'm looking for artists to collab with freely. I'm not gonna pay anybody. Um, I'm looking for producers, DJs, anybody who can mix and master my songs for a very cheap price with good quality. And basically what I need from my network. If you feel like you fit and you can actually rap and you have good skills, let me know. You guys have a little bit of my stuff. I have playlists and music up there and stuff like that. Quality is gonna be like fucking 10 times better as soon as I get proper mixing, mastering, DJs, producers, and things like that. Anyway, first I would like to say that I didn't sell pounds. I didn't have fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. So as far as you washing your money, I mean, what I see as far as the bigger people, they usually just they get some kind of business, some kind of legit business, or invest in things and um, employ themselves in a legit company. I don't know how that works though. You can't just put all this money in the bank if you make $1,000 a day in profit. You can't just put the money in the bank because the IRS is gonna want to know where this shit came from. What I see a lot of more normal drug dealers that are just drug dealing to survive and maybe have like a couple extra $1,000 a month. They work at McDonald's and they fucking put that with the good money and they get paper checks, deposit the paper checks, take some out, put some in of the dirty money and or whatever the fuck they do with it. But a lot of these people work at McDonald's or work in certain places, car dealerships, just because they do sell drugs, or bigger, higher up, just because they sell a lot of drugs. But as far as you washing your money, I don't know, bro. If you're making that much, you should probably talk to somebody who talk to your connect about that. But anyways, wish it was daytime. Lighting's kind of shitty. How not to get caught by the police. First, number one, most important, snitches. Police are not, not that smart. They use criminals to catch criminals. And my piece of advice to you would be not to be friends with people that are criminals as far as your networking skills. You can be cool with people or know people and, not have them so close to you that if they get locked up and they get a year or some shit, they snitch on you just to get fucking 3 months shaved off. Whatever. And that happens. They use criminals to catch criminals, and they might not even be. I mean, if they snitch, they're snitches at heart, but they might not even always have that intention. It's people who are career snitches. They're called something else with an O, not just informants. They're called something with an O. But these people get real good money for doing this and turning people in, keeping their ears to the street. Besides not being able to tell what a real snitch looks and sounds like, walks like, and talks like, you know, staying away from criminals or people who are constantly in and out of jail, you know, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I would stay away from them. Next is, having these girlfriends that you tell every fucking thing to, baby. We just jumped this nigga and he had like a half a key on him, blah, blah, blah. Pillow talking. When you break her heart, break up with her, when she finds out that you're cheating on her with her girl, with her sister, she's gonna snitch on you if she knows enough, and you're gonna go down. Next is your environment. A lot of people move different environments, or they watch these gangster movies and they try to treat the suburbs like the hood. They try to treat the hood like the suburbs. I knew this one dude who was always trying to, shake down people, make them pay taxes and shit like that. That's more hood shit. You don't really do that in the suburbs. What are you gonna do? Shoot this guy's house up? Follow him home from work? No. And then people treat the hood like the suburbs, and I don't have a really good example for that. But or they think they not being observant of your environment. Wherever I go, I'm always scoping out. My mind is constantly like this. Try on the road, walking on the street. If you do hand-to-hand transactions out in the open, or people see you at the same McDonald's every other day, jumping car to car, for fucking like 5 minutes, hopping out, running to another car, that's sketchy, and somebody's gonna notice that eventually. Next is being too loud. Being too loud is maybe what you were talking about. If you want to fucking buy all these cars, if you live in the projects and you drive a fucking Porsche or some shit, or an Escalade, or a Beamer, or just buying clothes and driving a dope dealer car. I'm not saying if you have a legit job and you just bought a nice car first and you're planning on moving next year because your lease is not up yet, that you shouldn't get a nice car. You're probably gonna get fucked with. But all these people riding around in these dunks and these fucking slabs and shit, like with these rims, with these fucking 30s and fucking shiny shit and ice and shit. I mean, that's a good way to get fucked with, to get looked at. What people don't realize is that the feds are more prevalent than people think they are. The feds are fucking out there. They're in more places than you think. Not to make you all super paranoid, but there's feds all over Chicago. There's feds all over random ass suburbs. When people fucking start dying from heroin overdose a lot, get away from that area. If you get fucking 8 heroin overdoses in a fucking town that's only 100,000 populated, and 8 overdoses of heroin in a month or some shit, yeah, you should probably not sell drugs around there. Just slow down, because the feds are on their way or they're there. People in your area keep getting arrested with Molly and shit. A lot of acid, a lot of shrooms. Anything like that can draw attention to the feds. So just know that. Next, a lot of people don't have the proper stash. They put it in the middle console. They don't have their car hooked up. Whatever, yeah. Sometimes you have to know people and you have to have a certain type of person in your network. I mean, you just even walking down the street and having a pair of basketball shorts under a pair of basketball shorts with pockets, and your cloth is so heavy that they can't feel how much weed you have in your pocket, or having some kind of special pair of jeans that you just found in Marshalls that has all these pockets, and a pocket doesn't look like a pocket, or whatever the fuck. Not stashing it right, having stashes in your house. Um, when I stayed with my mom, I used to cut a hole in the under my couch, and I used to put everything in there, even like my bong and shit, all that shit. Granted, every time I had to make a play, I would have to fucking flip my couch, and it would make a little bit of noise. Whatever. Just putting shit places. If you're on felony probation, they don't have to search every room. They would, if it's your lease, just tell the person whose room it is to not let them search your room and stash it in there. Whatever. Just stashing shit. That's why I gave the advice to ride around with the baby or with the older person and tell them that's your fucking great aunt or your granddad or some shit and stashing them. They're not gonna check a old ass dude. Um, Next, selling weed out of your fucking house and letting people know where you live. Stupid, don't shit where you live. Don't, don't shit where you eat. That's in the 10 crack commandments. Never sell crack where you rest at. I don't care if they want an ounce, tell them bounce. Don't sell weed out of your house. Don't even sell weed. I'd say, I mean, I used to walk like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes from my house to sell a certain amount of weed or something, whatever the fuck. Selling drugs to people that you've never met before on the spot, even if they say they're out of town, they're from out of town. Selling drugs to people you don't know like that, selling drugs to people that you've never seen before in your area. Next is not knowing the law. You get pulled over or the police are fucking with you and they say they have to search you. They don't have the right to go in your pockets. They only have the right to pat you down to make sure. They don't have the right to go in your pocket unless they communicate to you that they think that what you have on you is a weapon. So that, I'm not saying to walk around with a whole bunch of weed in your pocket because they can't check your pockets by law. But that, they can't check your car unless they have your permission, unless they have probable cause. They can't pull you out your car. Of course, you know, especially this time. Around this era, there's a little bit of stuff going on with the police. But yeah. And the last one is, it's not as common. Well, it is actually very common. Self-incrimination. If you're a musician, if you make music, if you're a rapper, you're a singer, whatever you do, saying too much in a song, saying too many things specifically, going to jail for something totally irrelevant. Let's say you go to jail for some fucking speeding ticket, or you go to jail for a DUI, and you're trying to look for a new connect, or you're trying to look for fucking custos or some shit, and you tell people too much, and they're in some predicament, and they snitch on you. That's a good way to get fucked up. That phone shit. Texting, don't text people drugs shit specifically, because texts that can be pulled as evidence. Texts are permanent. Texts are stored in a fucking tower somewhere. Of course they need papers to get it. They need a warrant and subpoenas and shit to get it. But they can access it if they have enough evidence against you. So if you are going to use a phone, I say use a throwaway, or don't say anything specifically. Don't talk. You can say a lot in 20 seconds on the phone when it comes to drug dealing without having to say what specifically. You don't have to say weed. You don't have to say loud. You can say green or dollars or things like that. Using codes is good, but that phone shit, nah, don't do it. It's for the birds. So those are the ways: snitches, criminals catching criminals, t- pillow talking with your girl, not being aware of your environment, being too noisy when it comes to you doing your shit, not having the proper stashes, selling drugs from your house, not knowing the law, self-incriminating. And that's it. Learn your laws. You can't be a law-abiding citizen if you don't know the law. So learn the law. Everything you need to know. That's it. That's DNA for sure. Peace. Oh, like, subscribe, and remember what I told you at the beginning of the beginning of the video. Watch it again. Like, subscribe, share this video. Do it. Do it. Do it now. Peace.